Hi lovies. Why does this only work when I'm driving? I think it's because I'm picking up right now. This time together works while I'm driving, which is probably not the best time, but then I'm not like overly focused on what I'm trying to say. I can speak from my heart. And I got to say shout out to my husband, who's the best man ever, because I have these regular times in the week. Hint moms, ladies. Every Wednesday is my day afternoon, all the way to the evening. Saturdays I get to develop my company. I know when I have time because I have a wonderful, supportive husband. So that's really important when you're becoming a new version of a new part of yourself. Like who I'm becoming in front of you guys, which we talked about, I'm doing it with you. It's like, this is new to me too. I never saw myself as an artist, ever. I didn't even know I could sing until I was in my 30s. And people be thinking I'm lying. I was like, no, I was singing my whole life, but I didn't think my voice was special. The only thing, hold on, it's like, I don't know if you can hear me. Hold on. The only reason, is that better? The only reason I'm even being an artist is because I hate being a liar. Like I hate not showing up on the outside like I feel on the inside. And if I don't like what's showing up on the outside, I change how I feel on the inside. So if I'm showing up on the outside as petty, I'm like, oh girl, get yourself together. If I'm showing up on the outside as a victim, I'm like, oh no, get your insides together. Because I want to show up on the outside the way I really feel on the inside. As long as it's allowed by God, I'm like, that's what we're going to do. So when I used to like live from rage, God was like, that's not allowed. You are literally making choices and decisions from anger, from I'll show them. And that's not my daughter. Galatians 5:23 says, the fruit of the Spirit is gentleness, meekness, love, tender. You know what I'm saying? You're not being those things. You're being vindictive. You're being triggered. You're being protective. You're being, right? So once I know the truth, I'm like, oh, I can't. That is the one. I'm a Virgo, right? We got to get it right? So I'm like, oh, you have to be legit on the inside like you were on the outside. And that's the only reason why I'm actually being an artist. Because God told me that I was going to be an artist. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. He told me, no, you're going to go into the music industry. I thought, well, surely I'm an entertainment lawyer or something, because I'm not supposed to be on stage. And if you don't know my story, go look at my coaching video. It tells you my whole story as to why I was like, what? But I pursued it. We looked into some labels. We turned them all down because I was like, well, this is slavery. And I couldn't figure out like, well, how are we supposed to do this? I wasn't getting chosen by like American Idol. I was in the line. Yes, I was in the line. I was so good. I killed one of those auditions to the point where I knew I was good. And one of the judges came out after me like, keep going. You're just not a part of the demographics. They gave us a sheet. This is what they're looking for. You don't fit that, but like keep going. And I was so disenfranchised because I really thought, but it's about the voice. I can sing. I can't remember what show it was, but I was like outside of McCormick Place, one of them voice audition shows, not getting chose. And God like literally said, that's not how it's going to come. Are you done? Like your platform is not going to come that way. And it's not going to come any other way but than the way that I say it's going to come. It's going to come the way that I want you to come out. I'm going to get the glory from this. Ain't nobody going to steal it this way. You're not going to have made it happen. So I'm like, well, what are we going to do? I know business. What's the route? How do I, connect with my demographic? How do I carve out my niche? He's like, no, honey, this is going to be a God thing. And I have literally been leaning on him ever since the way. And the only reason why I continue is because that's what I say I do. I tell people I believe in Jesus. So guess what I have to do? It's like a catch-22. I have to believe in Jesus. Because I don't know how to not live on the outside like I am on the inside. If I'm being disingenuous, I feel it and I figure it out. So when I have like poverty mentality issues, I feel it and I go, no, you got to get that together. When I have insecurities, I go, oh no, you got to get, because that's not how I project. I don't want to project that on the outside, right? So we have this artistry, this thing coming, and I got to be honest with you guys. Like my big brother, I think he's just everything. He's been so amazing on YouTube. He's like the realtor in Texas, and he knows it. He's the most amazing black realtor, period. And if you need a house in Texas and you need it to be a luxury pay, my brother got you. I'm so proud at how not just decisive, but consistent he is in his execution, because he will not let anybody else get in his head about who he is, including himself. You know how you can get in your own head about who you are? Half the time it ain't other people. It's like the tapes that have been playing, even the things I've said to myself that I'm like having to reconcile and revisit and rehabilitate. And so I know that God is saying the next move is to just share with you guys via YouTube. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm like, we got to just do it. We've had enough hurdles with video editors. We've had all these blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I can't wait to find the perfect time when my kids aren't going to bother me. Like, I have to just do it. But then I don't want to post it. And I know some of you all know that feeling when you're like, okay, I did it, but then you don't want nobody to know. Because it's your next level of promotion. It's your next level of self-promotion. Of like, see me, notice me, right? I want to live on the outside like I said I was going to live on the inside. I want you to be a part of that journey. I want you to honor that in me. I want to share this with you. I want to stop acting like it's to be a secret, right? But I swear, I was like, well, I gotta tell the people because it's the truth and it hurts and it's scary. And I'm in my 40s and I have all these things around. You can't start over. I have all these things around. You should have had it together by now. You have a whole family with kids. I have all these things around. Oh my gosh, that executive from that label told you, like, we don't invest in anybody over 25. You're dated. You're old. Like, all those things are the things that I have to say, oh, hell no, sis. Whatever's on the outside has to match up with what's on the inside for you. You will not be out of integrity. You are having a real belief around this insecurity. Fix it. Because you can't move forward. And it's just so funny how my inconsistency, and I'm recognizing this because I put out a video that I had not promoted. It's just out. And my brother, who is the best, comments on it and goes, "It's dope, sis. Like, get it to the people." And I'm like, oh, that's the next step, because he know how to do it. He know how to exit. He know how to let nothing mess with him. He like, okay, yeah, he know the process. He's already been where I'm at. He's already been like, you did the video. Now tell everybody you did the video. Ain't that us? Okay, you made the song. Now tell everybody you did the song. Okay, you made the dream happen. Okay, now tell everybody that's what we're doing. Like, commit to it. Like, make it public. It's like, oh, but again? But what if only 2 people view it? But what if I accidentally, what's someone giving me a mean comment? What if I don't say it perfectly? What if I haven't had time to do my face? Right? But I'm telling you, I know this to be true because I've done it before in other arenas. You have to do it. You have to get through it. Otherwise, you're a freaking liar. You're a liar. And I hate being a liar. I hate it. I hate it. I hate saying I'm going to do something, but it don't happen. It's got to happen. I don't care if it's pick you up at 3. Because I hate when people do that to me. And this is what God uses to make me be in integrity. So, that, and probably even when I was succumbing to perfectionism, which is the devil. But he said, okay, great. If you ain't going to listen to the Holy Spirit, at least you'll listen to perfectionism. You're going to get it done. You're going to make it happen. That's pitiful. Now that I've been delivered from perfectionism, it's integrity, though. It's like, Amanda, this is what God told you to do. And now he said this is the season to do it. You said you're going to do it. It's time to do it. Why aren't you doing it? That, I pray, inspires. Man, I pray it frees you. Because one, this is just a process. Every time, every solo, every whatever, every launch, we always feel, every new level, you feel like a fraud. You feel like you're not qualified until you get used to that feeling, and then you start feeling qualified. You finally get used to like, oh, I know what this is. This is the imposter syndrome. This is me trying to, create worth from my behavior, my performance, the way I show up, by what I do. And I forgot that I'm worthy because God just made me worthy. He's like, done. When you came out of my mind, perfect, nothing else to improve upon, right? And I'm not living from that. I'm living from, oh, what will they think? What will they say? Can't do it, Amanda. You hate being out of integrity. So I love you. I'm heading to a neighborhood that will be our future neighborhood when we move. And I'm just going to sit and vibe and talk and get clear on what is happening next and calm about what's happening next. And I am doing the same thing with you. And a part of how I'm doing that is by literally talking to you on the phone now. I love you. I hope it makes sense. No one does it overnight. There's such growth. But because I've been coaching all levels of not just artistry, but of personal development. And because I've been through a lot of seasons where that was necessary in other businesses. It's like the same thing when you start over in a new one. And I'm like, well, I said I was going to share the journey. Now I was going to talk about the stuff, the real stuff that happens in the beginning that usually breaks us, y'all. It's like you succumb to it because you don't know. It's scary being yourself at first. And now you're like, wait a minute, why doesn't everybody just like me? I didn't know it could be like dangerous. There are haters out there. The world's not all kind. So you figure that out when you're like 3, if not younger, and then you just live from a space of how do I avoid as much pain as I possibly can, right? How do I avoid as much? You blame it on seasons. You blame it on I haven't discernment yet. I'm not sure if it. You blame it on all the other stuff, but the point is you know what you're here for, and you've got to get strong on the inside so that you show up on the outside as who you're supposed to be. Welcome to your life, huh? Welcome to our lives. You know what? I'm excited because the home concerts are coming out now. All of the songs that I write involve this. It involves real stuff. It involves real feelings, right? And often how even God plays a part in our development or our lack thereof, because we like, screw you, JC. I want nothing to do with you. And everything for me concerning development comes from my Creator. So like, how you know what you're supposed to be doing if you ain't talking to the person who's telling you what you're supposed to be doing? Like, you have no relationship, or you have like a weekend relationship. It's dangerous. I remember those seasons. It's dangerous. You better be talking to him and you can hear him back. So the home concerts was his idea to the tail end of last year. They completely sold out. We're doing well now. The first one is coming up again May 7th, and I can feel the feelings. The Taylor's there. We're working on the set. I feel the feelings. It's time to share it even more so, promote it so that tickets are actually sold. I feel the feelings. It's time for me to take ownership so that I can monetize my art and no one else profits from it more than I do. I'm doing all the work, the songwriting, the movements there. I'm doing everything. Why would a label, why wouldn't I make the most money from this deal? So in order for me to do that, I need to have a platform and have a connection with my people that has no middleman. And so it's time to build a YouTube channel, right? But that's the path that we're choosing to take, along with Instagram. But look, it's all the things. You still feel the feelings. You still have the heart, right? It still happens. And if we're not honest about that with each other in the beginning parts, nobody will do this. Nobody will continue. You keep thinking it'll be like easy and it'll be all gravy and it'll be, warm receptions, and you'll have a whole cheerleading squad and everybody who was supposed to be behind you will be behind you. That's not always the case. And you don't know how to deal with that. Like, you feel disarmed, like kind of disoriented. And sometimes it has nothing to do with people. Sometimes it's just you. Sometimes you're just mean to you. You know how we are. Sometimes you're like your worst enemy. I mean, your worst enemy. You know your potential. You know when you're giving like 30% and people are like, wow. And you're like, I'm not even trying. You know when you like, right? I'm not even giving this the best I got. So it's like, well, why don't I? Why don't I? That's a real thing. You have to ask that question so that you stop doing it. I stop living on the outside in a way that is not consistent with what I know is on the inside. We can do more. We can be more. We can share more. We can grow more. I promise we can. It's just a little uncomfortable in the beginning. I love you. I really do. I hope you hear me. I'm in my neighborhood, my future neighborhood. I love you. Bye.